Hi, I'm Dave Atkinson, and welcome to Life on the Straight. The middle of this first week of October will see the 1-month milestone since the Perry construction team took the reins of our remodel project. Frank is asking us to finalize what we have in mind for our new fireplace, which sent us searching for makes, models, and vendors. Their primary lumber provider, which is Carl's Building Supply out of Port Hadlock, had dropped off material including the engineered floor joists that would be used in the garage project. The crew continued with the garage demo on the north side, which included removing the north wall sliding window and temporarily sealing it up with a chunk of OSB. Then they framed in where 2 new windows would eventually go. Now Jeff, who's the cabinet guy, supplied us with several updated cabinet drawings, plus a few new ones that we hadn't seen yet. For the master bath, we ended up choosing the double sink plan. Frank had also been busy with his CAD software, and he provided us with plans for the west end of the house. That is, the master suite, the 2 small bedrooms, and the hall bath. Frank had floated the idea of a skylight in a master bath, but with a new, almost full-width transom window planned for the master shower toilet area, we felt it would provide enough light all by itself. Frank shot us another CAD drawing of the west end that sealed the deal for us. For the small bedroom that sits next to the hall bath, and that's the one I use as my office, the crew would remove the linen closet and provide me with an angled entrance. This option would add additional room to the hall bath as well. In the master suite, entry into the bathroom would change from a pocket to a barn-style sliding door. In his email, Frank thought that eliminating the linen closet to gain a larger bathroom, and this would be the hall bath, was a bad trade, but it really wasn't. There was still a linen closet next to the second small bedroom entrance, and the new cabinetry going into the utility room would have more than enough room for the vacuum cleaners and such that we used to store in the other linen closet. Frank had also been coordinating with a plumber who had a recommended bathtub from a company called Max, and that's spelled with 2 A's, that we also liked. The plumber had planned on installing a 60-inch by 30-inch tub, but since we were going with a larger guest bathroom, there was enough room for a more standard size 60 by 32, which is what we selected. Finally, Amy and the cabinet guy had been emailing back and forth like crazy, and she finally committed that we'd have our kitchen sink of choice selected sometime next week. It's kind of funny thinking back to all of those HGTV remodeling shows we used to watch, where the stars would all excitedly yell out, "It's demo day!" and start banging away at everything with sledgehammers, because that's not how it went with our remodel. Frank's crew surgically dismantled our house, and much of what they took out ended up getting reused. They began with the cabinetry and shelving from the utility room, and they partially demoed some of the sheetrock and flooring from that room as well. At the end of the week, the stud wall that would hold up the new utility room floor was close to being complete. More materials arrived on Friday, including the sage green metal roofing segments. We would also order from Home Depot a Kraus Standard Pro 36-inch undermount stainless steel farm sink, which would arrive next week. On Monday, the crew shingled the sections that were torn up where the new roof beam entered into the bedroom and garage roofs. By the end of the day, the floor joists had been installed in a garage project. We also placed orders for 2 items that would be mounted on a new fireplace wall: the Sonos play bar and wall mount, and a full motion wall mount large enough for whatever TV we would decide upon. On Tuesday, the metal roof segments started going up, and the subfloor of the new utility room was installed. With the new subfloor, one could stand atop and appreciate how much we would utilize the additional square footage that this would bring to our home. Demo work was progressing all throughout the house now, with interior doors coming out, a large built-in bookcase removed, floor and door trim pieces coming off, and so on. Amy got in on the fun, and with a sledgehammer in hand, she bashed away at the tile countertops, which she absolutely hated with a passion. With all of the grout between each tile, it was a real chore to keep it clean. Frank had been busy with his CAD software. He provided us with elevations showing new window placements, some with several options for us to decide upon. We got drawings for 2 different fireplace walls. We must have selected by then our fireplace of choice because Frank had it included in his drawings. We chose Fireplace Extraordinaire as the vendor and their 54-inch linear Pro Builder series unit, which could sit directly on the subfloor. We also chose their Cool Smart TV option, which works by diverting heat coming off the fireplace box up through 4 pipes to a vertical vent up next to the ceiling. Electronics don't like heat, and this is our choice for keeping that entire wall cool when the fireplace is running. By week's end, the metal roof had been installed and a significant amount of sheetrock had been removed from inside of the house. Amy had notified Frank that she'd like an outside hose bib moved to a better location, and Frank's father Nick informed us that an insulation crew was scheduled for next week, and they would suck out much of the blown-in attic insulation. So that wraps up another 2 weeks of our Epic Remodel project. Thank you for watching Life on the Straight, and please consider subscribing, which is free, to stay abreast of new content.